Good evening. I'm here tonight to speak about the passing of Bob Schubert. Bob was a longtime Rye resident. He had a very distinguished career at IBM, where he was the chief mechanical test engineer for mainframe computers. Bob had several overseas assignments for IBM, including Director of Defense and Complex Contracts in Paris, France, including Director of Maritime Systems in Brussels, Belgium, and in Milan, Italy. Bob reported directly to Thomas J. Watson, IBM's chairman and CEO. Mr. Watson's early success was based on research and engineering, which is where Bob and his engineering license worked in the formidable years of IBM. Bob Schubert was also a very proud World War II veteran who captained the first non-Red Cross ship into Nagasaki, Japan, after the detonation of the second atomic bomb. He served in the U.S. Navy for 20 years and retired as a commander. Bob later continued his service as the commander of the American Legion Post-128. One of my first informal meetings with Bob was right outside these doors, when he was raising funds for the American Legion Post. It exemplified just how proud and how dedicated he was to U.S. Armed Forces, even to this day. In addition to others, Bob is survived by his son Christopher, who was recently returned to the U.S. from flying missions in Afghanistan as a lieutenant pilot in the Navy. Bob's grandson, Trevor Dunlap, is also serving our country as a second lieutenant, again in the armed services. Even after Bob's demise, his wishes were that donations in his memory be made to the Wounded Warriors Project. Bob was very proud of his service to this country and truly believed in American law and order. Many of you heard him repeat those words over and over again, month after month, at this very podium. Although Bob Schubert was always involved and very well known in Rye, he walked into the main spotlight after the water dried up in his pond as a result of an unpermitted construction project on a neighboring property. His unpermitted project was allowed to proceed due to the inappropriate influences of the political class here in Rye. This has all been documented in recent sworn deposition transcripts still in the possession of Rita Schubert. After the city refused to enforce its wetlands codes in an effort to save one of its chosen few thousands and thousands of dollars in permitting and construction fees, Bob Schubert set on a quest to require the city to do what it had failed to do from the start, enforce Chapter 195 and get his water back. In an effort to avoid embarrassment and an attempt to silence Bob Schubert, this city attempted to have Bob committed to a psychiatric institution at the Westchester County Medical Center. But the city's attempt once again failed to deter or silence Bob Schubert. On March 18, 2011, City Manager Pickup felt that Bob threatened his life and the life of Councilwoman Parker. At the time, Bob was 88 years old and weighed in at every bit of 150 pounds. The third and final attempt to silence Bob Schubert occurred after Bob entered City Hall to view a wetlands map located on the wall. Bob was once again charged by the police and prosecuted after another complaint initiated by Mr. Scott Pickup, our Rye City Manager. For 2 or 3 weeks prior to Bob's passing, Rita Schubert made several attempts to contact Mr. Pickup in an effort to have him drop the charges against Bob Schubert. Bob so wanted to die without the tarnish of Mr. Pickup's claim on his name. But the calls were never returned to Mrs. Schubert from Mr. Pickup, and Bob passed away on January 5th. When Bob passed away, he was at home with his wife and his son Christopher by his side. Ironically, Bob passed away in his bedroom, overlooking the mud hole that he fought so hard to have this city fix for so many years. Mayor French, at one time, you'd claim to be Bob Schubert's savior, soliciting money at a fundraiser and proclaiming how you would bring back enforcement so lacking for so long in Rye. You turned out to be Bob Schubert's biggest disappointment. What I find unconscionable is the way that Bob Schubert was treated by this administration, as well as the past one. All Bob Schubert wanted was what was his to begin with, his water back. In closing, it should be noted that Mayor French and this council may have silenced Bob Schubert. He's gone. He's dead. But in the end, it'll never stop the truth from being told. The truth about how two administrations failed, disrespected, persecuted a highly decorated World War II veteran and a much respected senior citizen in an effort to cover up wrongdoing by but a few in control in Rye. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.